On June 21st, 2025, as the first light crept over the horizon, Australia quietly marked a significant moment in its calendar, the winter solstice. This day is known as the shortest day of the year in the southern hemisphere, when daylight hours are at their minimum and the night stretches on longer than at any other time. The reason for this phenomenon lies in the Earth's unique tilt. As our planet orbits the sun, the South Pole is angled furthest away, causing sunlight to hit Australia at a much lower angle and for a shorter duration. This tilt is responsible for the dramatic difference in daylight between summer and winter. Despite what many might assume, the winter solstice is not actually the coldest day of the year. In fact, temperatures often continue to drop in the weeks that follow, as the land and sea slowly lose the heat they've stored up over the warmer months. The solstice is more than just a date on the calendar. It marks the official start of astronomical winter. For many cultures, it's a time of reflection and celebration, a pivotal turning point in Earth's endless cycle around the sun. After the solstice, the days begin to lengthen, albeit slowly. Each sunrise arrives a little earlier, and each sunset is delayed by a few precious minutes. Yet, the air remains crisp, and the warmth of the sun is still a distant promise. The deepest cold is still ahead. The solstice marks the peak of darkness, when evenings descend quickly and the world outside feels quieter, wrapped in the hush of winter. Australians notice the early onset of darkness, often switching on lights in their homes and workplaces by mid-afternoon. This shift in daylight affects daily routines, with people adjusting their schedules and energy use to adapt to the long nights. On this day, the land and oceans reach their peak of heat loss. The Earth radiates away the warmth it has stored, and the chill in the air becomes more pronounced, especially in the inland regions and along the rugged coastlines. Understanding the solstice is essential for grasping the rhythms of Australia's climate. Meteorologists and teachers alike use this event to explain the science behind our seasons and the impact of Earth's movements on our daily lives. The winter solstice is a natural event, a marker in Earth's solar journey that has been observed and celebrated for thousands of years. It reminds us of our connection to the cosmos and the cycles that govern our world. While it brings the longest night, the solstice also carries a quiet promise. From this point forward, the light will slowly return, and each day will grow a little brighter. For now, the solstice is a gentle reminder to prepare for the real winter chill ahead. Australians layer up in warm clothing, light fireplaces, and ready their homes for the coldest weeks of the year. The weeks following this shortest day are often the most frigid, with snow dusting the high country and frost blanketing the ground in the early mornings. The winter solstice is both an ending and a beginning, a time to embrace the cold and to look forward to the gradual return of the sun. Have you ever wondered why, even though the shortest day of the year falls on June 21st, the real bite of winter in Australia doesn't arrive until weeks later? It's a curious phenomenon that surprises many, especially those new to the Southern Hemisphere's seasonal rhythms. In 2025, for example, Australia's coldest weather didn't hit in June, but instead swept across the country in July and August. The frost on the farmland and the snow on the mountains arrived well after the winter solstice had passed. This delay in the arrival of winter's chill is called seasonal lag. It's a fascinating effect, and it all comes down to the way our planet's oceans behave. Think of the oceans as enormous heat batteries, absorbing and storing energy from the sun. During the long, sunlit days of summer and the lingering warmth of autumn, the oceans soak up vast amounts of heat. But they don't give it up easily. Instead, they release this stored warmth slowly, over weeks and even months as winter sets in. This gradual release of heat acts like a buffer, preventing temperatures from dropping sharply as soon as the days start getting shorter. Coastal areas, in particular, feel this effect most strongly, with milder winters compared to inland regions. It takes several weeks for the oceans to lose the warmth they've stored up over summer. Only after this slow cooling process does the air above truly begin to feel the full force of winter's cold. Interestingly, the same lag happens in reverse during summer. The hottest days of the year usually arrive after the longest day, as the land and sea continue to absorb and then gradually release heat. Seasonal lag is all about delayed reactions. Earth's climate system has inertia, meaning it takes time for changes in sunlight to translate into changes in temperature. By the time July rolls around, the oceans have finally depleted much of their stored heat. that's when winter's chill can truly take hold, bringing frosty mornings and cold, misty days across the country. This lag is a defining feature of Australia's climate. It explains why the coldest days and nights don't line up with the shortest day, but instead arrive weeks later, in the heart of July and August. So, when you see frost on the window or children bundled up in August, remember, it's the oceans finally letting go of their summer heat that brings winter's true cold. Understanding seasonal lag helps us make sense of why July felt so much colder than June in 2025, and why Australia's winter always seems to arrive fashionably late. Australia's vastness is more than just a matter of geography. It's a story written in weather, especially during winter. Stretching from the tropical north to the temperate south, the country's immense size means that winter is never experienced the same way twice, even within a single season. In 2025, winter's grip varied greatly by location, painting a tale of two winters across the continent. From the snow-dusted highlands to the breezy, rain-soaked coasts, each region told its own story of cold. Inland areas like Canberra and Alice Springs felt winter's chill much sooner than the coast. Here, the land cools rapidly after sunset, losing heat far faster than the ocean. As a result, residents woke to frosty mornings, icy windscreens, and the crunch of frozen grass underfoot. Without the ocean's moderating warmth, these regions experienced the first true bites of winter, with temperatures plummeting overnight, and the landscape often blanketed in frost. Meanwhile, coastal cities like Sydney and Melbourne enjoyed a different kind of winter. The nearby ocean acted as a giant heat reservoir, releasing warmth slowly and keeping the cold at bay. Here, winter arrived more gently, with milder days and fewer frosty nights. The sea's gradual release of heat delayed the coldest days until mid to late July, giving coastal dwellers a reprieve from the harshest chills and allowing outdoor life to continue, albeit with a brisk breeze. This contrast creates two distinct winter experiences: frosty, sub-zero nights in the interior, and damp, breezy days along the coast. While inland residents huddle by heaters, coastal communities brave the wind and drizzle, often swapping heavy coats for rain jackets. Inland, temperatures can drop well below zero overnight, turning puddles to ice and painting the landscape white with frost. On the coast, the air remains damp and chilly, with misty mornings and the ever-present sound of waves. These regional patterns are key to understanding Australia's winter. The interplay between land and sea, latitude and altitude, shapes the weather in every corner of the country. Proximity to the ocean dictates whether you'll face icy mornings or damp, windy days. It's a difference that influences daily routines, clothing choices, and even the foods people crave. In 2025, this tale of two winters unfolded as it does every year, reminding Australians that their country's diversity extends far beyond its landscapes. It's written in the weather, too. The divide between coast and interior defines much of Australia's winter, shaping not just the climate, but the way people live, work, and play during the colder months. Knowing these differences helps Australians prepare for the unique challenges of winter, whether it's stocking up on firewood inland or keeping an umbrella handy on the coast. In a land of contrasts, understanding your winter is the first step to thriving through it. As spring approached, winter had a final surprise in late August 2025. A powerful cold front swept across southeastern Australia, bringing freezing temperatures, winds, and snow. This vigorous front, originating from the Southern Ocean, was the strongest of three in a week. It reminded everyone that winter could still pack a punch, even near spring. The storm disrupted travel and plans, with severe weather warnings issued. Thunderstorms, hail, and damaging winds made it a complex storm. This event was a dramatic end to winter 2025, affecting millions. It was a clear signal that winter wouldn't leave quietly, but with a powerful roar. The storm left a lasting impression, marking winter's fierce farewell. The final winter storm of 2025 brought snow to unexpected places. Snow fell as far north as the northern tablelands of New South Wales near Queensland. South Australia's Mount Lofty and Flinders Ranges received rare snow. In Victoria and New South Wales, towns like Orange and Bathurst became winter wonderlands. Snow levels dropped to a few hundred meters above sea level, showing the cold air's intensity. Normally, snow stays in alpine regions, but this storm brought it to lower areas. Social media buzzed with images of snowy backyards and kangaroos in snow. the unexpected snow was a memorable gift from winter's final blast. The late winter storm also brought damaging winds. In Victoria's alpine regions, winds reached hurricane-force speeds. These winds caused power outages and dangerous wind chills. At sea, massive waves battered coastlines, creating hazardous conditions. Authorities warned against entering the water due to rough seas. The storm's power affected everything from mountains to sea level. The howling winds were a destructive companion to the cold and snow. The damage was a reminder of nature's power and the importance of weather warnings. It was a wild and windy end to the winter season. The storm's impact was felt across the region, leaving a lasting impression. The wild weather at winter's end was due to a cold front. A cold front is the leading edge of a cold air mass, forcing warmer air to rise. This front was vigorous, bringing exceptionally cold air from the Southern Ocean. As it moved north, it picked up moisture, leading to dramatic weather. The temperature contrast between Antarctic and continental air caused severe conditions. Meteorologists tracked the system, issuing warnings in advance. This event was a textbook example of a strong cold front. It brought a sudden change from mild to freezing, windy and wet weather. The science explained the organized system behind the severe weather. After the cold front moved over the Tasman Sea, the weather calmed. The storm's departure left clear skies and calm winds, perfect for a temperature drop. By Sunday morning, a severe frost covered parts of New South Wales, Victoria, and South Australia. The transition from storm to frost is a classic pattern after a cold front. The storm's energy moved on, but the frigid air lingered. People woke to icy windscreens and frosty gardens. The frosty morning was the final act of the winter event. It was a peaceful end to a turbulent weekend, a last touch of winter's cold. These cold, clear mornings are a signature of Australian winter. The frost marked the end of the storm, but the cold air remained. The widespread frost was winter's final bow. As the new week began, warmer air flowed into southeastern states. The sun felt stronger, melting the last frost and snow. This shift marked the transition to spring, with longer days and new growth. The winter of 2025 was a season of contrasts. It ended with a powerful storm, a reminder of nature's force. Now, with the storm past, Australia looked forward to spring. The wild weather was a dividing line between winter and spring. Winter had made its statement, and the stage was set for spring. The memories of the storm lingered, but the air felt renewed.